Back. In today's topic, I'm going to explain CSS borders, margins, and paddings. So, what is a border and where we can use and how we can use borders, we will see. So, borders are basically applied for any specific element like the paragraph or H1 elements or any image element, etc. So, for using a border, we can use some border width, border color, border radius as the properties, and let's see how we can apply. So here I'm going to use a new IDE called WebStorm. So inside WebStorm I created a folder called batch, new batch, and I can create my new HTML to explain the border example. And using WebStorm as an editor, it will automatically generate the um, HTML as a basic template. Okay, so here I can simply change my code. So here I am saving it as border example. Inside the body I am creating a div block or any h1 element. So I am writing this is heading 1 as the heading. So after writing this, I can simply click on Chrome browser, or I can open Chrome browser here. Let me open the Chrome browser and we can open our web page. So it's in training examples batch 8 here. So now we have seen just as a simple heading. Now I want to apply a border for this particular element. So to apply a border, we need to apply styles. So here I can use style element. So for h1 element, we use something called as border width. We use something called border width. So here I am saying 5 pixel as my border width, the thickness of the border, and then I need to choose the border color. So I want red color. So then after we apply something called border style. So border style indicates that whether the line should be solid or dotted or any other style. I am choosing solid. So let's go back to the page and refresh. So here we can see a border is applied for this element. A border is applied for this element. So you can also change the border property, like instead of solid I can say it as a dotted. Okay, dotted. So when I say this, you can see the style is applied as a dotted. Also we can change the color by selecting any different color. So here I'm giving like 20 pixel, which means that top and bottom you are choosing as 5 pixel and the sides, left side and right side, you are choosing 20 pixel. So refresh. So that is not showing a proper because we have chosen dotted. I can select it as a solid. We can see a big difference. So the right side and left side it is applying 20 pixel and the top and bottom it is applying 5 pixel. Or we can apply 4 different properties like 5 pixel, 10 pixel, 15 pixel and 20 pixel. So top, right, bottom, left. So this is how we can indicate 4 different properties: top, right, bottom, left. If we want to apply styles for all the border, all these sides, we can simply say 20 pixels. Okay. So when you say 20 pixels for a border width, it will apply the styles for all the sides. Okay. This is how we can choose a border property. Alright, so instead of using this, we can also create something called like a shortcut operator, shortcut way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment this section or I'm going to delete this. Okay, so using single property called border, I can simply say 2 pixel width and solid as my style, and I can say a red color like this. So by using border property, you can apply 3 different properties like border width and border style and border color. So even let's save this green to just see the difference. Okay, refresh. So now we can see the border is applied accurately. So this is the way to use borders, and also we have something called as border radius. So border radius indicates the roundness of the edges. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select as a 5 pixel, and I can select something like border radius. I'm giving 5 pixel. So if I refresh, you can see that border edges is little bit rounded. So if you are increasing the size of the border radius like 20 pixel, you can see the borders are more rounded. Okay, so this is how we can apply the border radius, and also this border radius is applied for all the four corners: left corner, top right corner, top left, top right, and left bottom and left right bottom. So if we want to apply individual borders sides, we can simply say like 5 pixel, 10 pixel, 15 pixel and 20 pixel. So this will apply top, right, bottom and left. So refresh. So you can see that every edge is having some different property. So if this is not looking nice, we can apply a common size for all the edges. So this is the way how we can use border and border styles. Now let's talk about margins. So margins are used to create some space around the elements. Okay, so always margin applies outside the element. So let's suppose see our example. So there is no margin here between the page and the element. So I want to apply some margin here. So what happens if I apply the margin? Let's see. So to apply the margin, I can use a property called margin left. So I'm applying some 20 pixel margin from the left side. So you can see that element is moving from left to right. So similarly, I can apply the margin at the right side. So I can say that margin right 100 pixel. So here we can see that element is placed 100 pixels on the right side. Okay, so this way we can apply four different properties: margin top, margin bottom, margin left and margin right. We also have shortcut operators, something like margin. So whenever we say margin and I'm saying 10 pixel or 200 pixel, it will apply margins for all the four sides: top, bottom, left and right. So go back, refresh. So now we can see that margin is applied 200 pixels from the top, 200 pixels from the right side, left side and 200 pixels from the bottom. Okay, so if you place another element like h2, h2, this is heading 2. Now we can see that element is placing after 200 pixels of gap. Okay, so this is the way we can use margins. And there is a concept called margin inherit, which means it will inherit the size from the margins sizes from the parent element, which means that let's say I have a div element. I'll create a div element here, and for this div element, so there is a div element, and now we can see that I'm going to apply div element margin left. Okay, so margin left 50 pixel, margin left 50 pixel. Now here what I'm going to do, I'm saying margin left. I'm not going to give the property, I'm going to inherit the value, which means the h1 element will have the margin as the parent element. So if the parent element is a div element, I am applying 50 pixel for the div. So let me apply the color for this, color colon red, or I can say blue for the margin. Alright, go back to the page, refresh. So now let's see here, width 100%. I'm going to apply the border to see how it looks like. I also want to see the border. and then I'm going to apply border 2 pixel solid green, 2 pixel solid green. Okay, so you can see that a div element is applied some pixels, that is 50 pixels from the left side. So the light color border is a div element and the child element is h1. So it is inheriting the margin from the parent element. So you can see here, right click and inspect. You can see that I am applying margin left as 50 pixel. So you can see, if you scroll down, you can see that margin 50 pixel on the left side it is applied for the div element. And if I select H2, H2 is saying that I am going to inherit the margin. So you can see that, let me show you here, H1. Okay, H1 is getting the margin left as inherit. That means it is inheriting the value from the parent element. So if I increase the size of div element, it will automatically increase the size in the child element, that is H1. So this is the how we are going to apply margins using different properties. Then we'll understand what is a padding. So padding properties are used to generate the space around an element's content, which means now this is a heading 1. So you can see a border. Now inside the element I want to apply some padding. So let's say I want to apply some space between the h1 border and the h1 content. So in that way the content will be properly displayed, right? So for that we can use something called as padding. So similar to margin, we have same properties, margin top, right, bottom, left. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create some padding here. So h1 padding left, I'm going to give 100 pixel. Save it, refresh. So you can see that a padding for H1, it is showing as a green color highlight. If I select this, it is showing padding left as 100%. So if you keep on increasing this size, the content is getting some place here before left. Okay. So similarly, we can apply some padding when it is required on the right side. Okay. So if I am going to say like just as a padding 20 pixel, which means padding will be applied to all the 4 sides, top, bottom, left and right. So let's see this, refresh. So you can see that a padding is applied in the 4 directions. Okay, so if you go to the bottom, you can see the padding 50 pixels, 20 pixels, sorry, padding 20 pixel is applied. If you see here, padding 20 pixel is applied for the 4 sides, top, bottom and left, right. So this is how we can use borders, margins and padding. Thanks for watching.